Oh yeah, this
Hey, can you
is
hear
the.
me, Sam?
Oh, I can definitely hear you. This is the Pop
I'm out.
Buddy Podcast, episode 16. Oh, we're just a little late because somebody was procrastinating and setting up. Who could that be?
Hey,
Not going to name
hey,
names.
not everybody wants to set up in the cornfield, Sam. Come on, baby.
I
Plus,
know,
I'm by
I know. You're in
myself
the middle of
today.
nowhere.
I normally have Dave or you or Will here with me to do all the equipment. Today, I'm on my own, so Any case, hey, I wish I was here earlier in the year. The corn was here, of course, and it's a great little spot right in my neighborhood. Really, that's where I live. The
Yeah,
cornfield
yeah,
area of New Jersey.
yeah. I was
But
traveling all over the state today, state of New Jersey,
yeah,
thinking to myself, gee, what is Murphy thinking? And boy, he's making me look really good as a prophet of how things actually work in New Jersey government.
well, you're
We
right,
gotta go over
Sam. I
this
mean,
one.
you're the one that picked it out a while back, compared them to the gambling issue and all that crap. I mean, can you believe it? Where are we now, really? I mean, where are we now? November 3rd, we elect. We go ahead and we pass our legislation, our constitutional amendment, 70%. It's the legislature, the assembly puts everything together. They pass it to Murphy. Now it's been almost a month and he's not signing it. And the guy ran 3 years ago on the whole premise of legalizing marijuana, and he won't sign it now. So, we
Oh,
got
absolutely.
crazy stuff here in New Jersey. The good news is both houses did sign off on the constitutional amendment already. So that amendment that officially is a constitutional amendment. So far as I'm concerned, if you got caught with it and you had a good lawyer and you went to court, I mean, it's going to be a mess. I think our buddy Scutari called it a constitutional crisis in the courts if this comes up. So that's about what's here in New Jersey right now. With We're in the limbo zone, really. We're in Never Never Land of what is going to happen. So there's still arrests happening throughout all of New Jersey, Sam. A number of people are getting arrested, and we'll see what happens with that. But Murphy's
You
got
know,
it. He's got it, and it's
you know
all up to
that
him.
you know that that saying, I'll believe it when I see it. That's the
Yeah.
mindset of every person in New Jersey. I'll believe it when I see it, and I'm shocked. I mean, all the hard work, and we've seen this so many times in other areas, such as sports, legalized sports gambling, amongst other things. It's just the way, it's the nature of the beast. Now, you talk about New York. There's rumblings in New York that up in Albany that maybe Governor Cuomo will start to get this thing through. Governor Wolf in Pennsylvania just understands the economics of it. That hey, we better get ourselves ready for this because it's going to happen. It would be a real shame if New Jersey really dropped the ball on it and the neighboring states get on it and lead the way. It doesn't have to be that way. Now,
No. You're right, man. It shouldn't be that way.
New York has its own problems too. New York
Yeah,
politics. I mean,
they all do. They all do. And I actually have a few things I'll talk about a couple of the other states in a little bit. But just back to Murphy real fast. This was his State of the State address this week, when they do that whole thing and they tell you how the year was and whatnot, hell of a year, right?
yeah,
Anyway, he's not like us, Sam, who's doing it live in a cornfield or live anywhere. This guy tapes his State of the State address that he plays to New Jersey. He doesn't even do it live. So and he talked for about 35, 40 minutes. I mean, I don't know. And he only had like 2 or 3 lines about marijuana in the whole thing. You know what I mean? So I actually printed out one of his lines. Hell with it. I mean, here he is. This hasn't been an easy fight, nor has it happened as quickly as I would have liked, but we're in a better place, a smarter place, and a more just place than ever before. Give me a freaking break, dude. Sign the paper and pass it over. I mean, come on, man. Now, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know why he's not signing it, but the only guess I could think of at this point, if I was him right now, I wouldn't sign it right now anyway, because, Wednesday is inauguration day. I'd actually wait at this point to after that day just to get that out of the way. See what happens, see what the country's like, see if any stupid shit happens, and then sign it on the 21st. Yeah, the 21st would be a perfect day. Okay, 21st, seven's my lucky number. 3 sevens is 21. Murph, please sign it on the 21st for me. That would be really great. I don't know. Maybe he's into numerology.
You know
I
what
don't know.
he'd say this, Bill, it is the right thing to do.
Yeah, well,
The right thing to do.
I don't know. Yeah, back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board, right? Screw this. This is ridiculous. Okay. So the Senate and the Assembly has actually already sent money in once they pass their stuff. They actually sent money in to fund this program. So they got the funding already. They got everything passed in the Assembly and the Senate. And Governor Murphy is screwing it up. Now, we know that Murphy's concerns were that he was worried about what's going to happen to the young people here in New Jersey. Under the current bill, basically the young people are out scot-free. They got nothing going on. There's no regulation for them. So Murphy wanted to put in $250 tickets for 18 and 19-year-olds, up to $500 tickets if it's a little bit more. He wanted to put the younger kids under 18 into juvie and into community service and into drug rehab and all these other things. So that's what's holding up. Murphy wanted that stuff to happen, and he wanted them to add it to the bill. He made them do it like a companion thing or a cleanup legislation bill, right? So once he comes back with that, all the senators that struggled like crazy just to get this other crap through, which is what, it's a book is how fat it is. He wants to give the young people a little bit of a ribbon now. And these people in these inner cities, a lot of these senators are like, these kids can't handle this. So really, that's why they've kind of backed down. Scutari, even though they went through their committee and it passed there, and it was supposed to pass this Monday in the main. All the senators just threw their hands up and said, forget about it. It's crazy. Just sign it, Murph. Why are we changing it now? All this other stuff. So let's see. Who do we talk about? We don't talk about this guy, Steve Sweeney, very often. He's in charge of the Assembly. We mostly talk about the Senate a lot lately. And, right, what does Sweeney say? A couple quotes. Right now, the ball's in his court. Yeah. Legislation's already on his desk. What else he says? As much as I tried to compromise, it's just not. People aren't ready to compromise. Woohoo, Sweeney, can't forget these frickers. You know what it is? Every senator, every assemblyman, they all have agendas. They all have people that they're beholden to and crap. You know how it works in politics. They're all probably getting their little piece of the thing together and little piece of that together, and that's got to be what it is, because otherwise it'd be easy as pie to put something together like this. If everybody didn't have their own agendas, maybe, I don't know what they are or if that's true, but generally that's what goes on in the world, right? So I don't know. All right. They also, they canceled the vote. They canceled the vote on, not canceled, but he could at least sign the decriminalization bill that's on his desk. I mean, that would be very nice, right? And what's our buddy, Scutari, who we like? He says, here's his quote, "We're satisfied with the bill that we gave them, and we want them to take action on that bill." Boom. That's it, man. I agree with you. Just sign that one. We'll figure out the rest later. We got to get going. These other states are right behind us, man. So, they're floating this other one out there where the police on the under 18 people just have a talk with them on the state. Talk with them on the street or whatever, and that's fine. But the big problem in my eyes is the loss of license for these guys. If you're 18 or 19 and you're driving, or 17 or any age younger than 21, and you get caught in the car with it, that's 6 months loss of license in New Jersey. So 6 month loss of license. Now, a lot of these kids, they're not at home smoking because their parents aren't letting them go home to smoke. They got when you're young like that, I mean, if you're 17, 18, 19 years old, sure, you got it in your car. You don't got it at home. You're going out and bringing it to your friend's house. So anyway, that's a real shame that these kids are all going to lose their license. And that comes with big fines and all kinds of crap, Sam. All right, he has until February to do it. February. He's got to get it done by February. Otherwise, the whole thing reverts back to crap, and we got to start all over again. So I'm sure that's not going to happen. All right, out in Montana. This is what happened in Montana, okay? First off, Montana, when they just had their election, they all Republicans won their assembly and their Senate. All the positions, the first governor in Montana, like 18 years or something like that. I mean, amazing, that's what happened with Republicans out there. At the same time, they passed marijuana legislation, okay? So, and the governor that was running, the Republican governor that won, he was running on a platform against marijuana. He won, and marijuana won. Lets you know the people, aren't really with all these politicians 100% of the way, Um, all right. So let's see what I got here on that. They're going to get it done. They said that they've got 43 bills of marijuana, and that's going to get done by this April. Now, they're one of the states that did it with Jersey, and they claim they're going to get it done by April. Now, they better get it done by April because, in Montana and Texas, it's kind of weird, Sam. Those states, their legislatures only meet once every 2 years to do bills. I know that sounds kind of weird to us, but so these guys, can you imagine if Montana doesn't get this done now? They got to wait a whole nother 2 years. Oh, that would suck. Now remember, Maine. Maine took 4 years, 4 years to get theirs done. Once it was passed by the people, their governor slow walked it for 4 years. That can't be New Jersey. South Dakota, we got a governor out there who's really against it, and they're slow walking it too. They actually put taxpayer money into a fund to fight against the marijuana legalization taking place that quick. Can you imagine? So this is going on all over. We can make fun of New Jersey all we want, but every state's all messed up when it comes to this. How about, I got something on Missouri. Missouri passed it. Here's something interesting. Okay, Missouri finally get it all done, right? They're ahead of us by a little bit. So they go ahead and start handing out licensing. They gave out 392 licenses 2 years ago, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
As of now, like 50 of them are up and running. Assorted reasons. But all the people are clamoring. They have 13 growers. Now, these growers are indoor growers. They don't have big spaces, and that's the reason why they don't have a lot of bud out there after 2 years, is because these guys have to build these huge facilities, have to really put a lot of money into these places. They need all kinds of investors and everything. It's very simple here in New Jersey that Montana does not have. We are the Garden State. Let me back up. We are the Garden State, okay? So we can have this done outdoors. We don't have to have 13 little grows. All we have to do is give licenses, temporary licenses even, to the guys that want to do indoors. Give an outdoor license to every single one of our dispensaries that are right now, our 12 or 13 guys. Give them an acre outside for this spring. Let's get some product on the ground, because that's the only way we're going to beat New York and Pennsylvania. We're not going to do it any other way. And so that's how I'm looking at that. All right, what else I got? One more thing. Assembly Craig Coughlin. We got a Cannabis Commission guy, Sam. We got a Cannabis Commission guy. We got one. His name is Sam Delgado. That's who's now been picked by our assembly.
What's his name?
Assembly guy gets to pick one. Oh, I forgot. It's your name. Oh, Sam.
I like the name. I like the name.
Sam Delgado. He's now on the Cannabis Commission. He's the assembly pick. The Senate picked the girl that was a social worker, and Murphy picked a couple of people already. Still to have another one or two picked by Murphy. Now, the big complaint out there, I'm sure, going to be on this guy, Sam Delgado, that the assembly picked is, this guy knows nothing about cannabis. He knows nothing about cannabis. There's nothing at all about it. So here we got a guy that has come out of business, and they're going to put him in charge of deciding how this is going to be. The only guy in that whole group that they got that's any good that I could see is that guy Jeff Brown that's been involved with the medical for a while. And that fella there, you got to figure he's learned a lot in the last couple of years. Bringing these new guys in with no cannabis experience, either participating or in the industry, probably, in my eyes, is wrong. But whatever. That's what they're picking. They're politicians. They pick, I don't know. Generally, when you watch what happens with presidents and stuff, they usually pick people who donate money to them. That's who gets these ambassadorships and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
One more thing on the state, and I'm going to move off the state, and I'm going to go to my Rastafari cry, the other thing that we have on our title here. I've been pushing education for a long time about this. I just think that people just don't know anything about what it really is, and how some people it's good for and some people it's not, and on and on and on. But here we go. We got a bill in New Jersey. Both Republicans. Wow, check it out. Michael Testa, Assemblyman Eric Simonson, Bill S3360. They want to have schools have instruction of cannabis and marijuana products in their education.
Really?
That's what I've been
Really?
talking about for a while. That's what you need. If you explain to kids, all about it, certain ones it's just not going to be good for. Just like in adults, certain adults, there's no reason they should smoke. It's not their type of thing, and it's not for everybody. And if you explain the uses and who's good for, and maybe this and that, you'll find that the education is going to be the best thing. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. And all right, leads to me that I guess we're going to have to talk about the Rastafari thing. Okay, I have a cup of tea down here. Let me get a little sip. There we go. And where do I got that? I have a little piece of paper on it. So, Sam, right behind me is where the sun rises every day. So I see the sunrise across this cornfield in the morning. It's really beautiful in this area. All right. Rastafari cry. Now, the Rastafari are crying right now because, if they're in New Jersey, they were really hoping this would be okay. Now, we do have the constitutional amendment, so we're probably good with that. Sorry for ducking away, pal. So basically, there's 4 ways that are going on with cannabis these days as far as smoking it. And the Rastafari, they have their own spiritual thing, and I'll talk a little bit about how that works. But think about it. We really got people who want to relax. They want to chill. They want to zone into something. There's people like that. Some of them, unfortunately, some of the people who smoke, are going to smoke because they want to get rid of bad memories and things. They're bummed out, and probably in my eyes, they're probably not the best ones to be smoking. Sometimes you'll find somebody who's got some mental illness or something will go ahead and start smoking weed, and then when they say, "Oh, that weed, the evil weed made them be mental," it's the people or the people, man. The weed's not doing that to him. I mean, I'm sure it could happen to somebody, but it's normally that's not the case. So there's some of these type of people who shouldn't smoke. The rest of the people who smoke are social smokers. I mean, they like to get a buzz. They want to get high. They want to have fun. They want to laugh. All that stuff. I mean, there's a good feeling. We got the vibe. So those folks, they got their thing, and which is cool. But the Rastafari and some of the smokers that are in that group I just said, they also go a little bit along with the spiritual side of what the Rastafari do, because this is around for ancient times, Sam. I mean, they found in the pyramids in Israel digs, when they do these archaeological digs in Israel, they find smoking devices, they find cannabis stuff. So this has been around for a long time. Of course it has. I mean, cannabis is one of those plants that the birds eat the seeds and the bugs and you know what happens when birds eat seeds? They fly around, they drop them all over. That's how things go all over the place. That's why there's plants growing all over. Cannabis does not need to be cultivated by us. I don't need to plant this cornfield full of cannabis. If I planted just instead of all female, just a mix of crops, sooner or later there'd probably be plants growing all around this area because the birds be grabbing it all, dropping it everywhere. So I mean, that's how I look at it, and that's how the Rastafarians look at it. They look at it like this is one of God's plants. God didn't mean, and in the Bible they talk about herbs and plants and all that, and how God left all these for us to use and so forth. And sure, why did society decide that one of God's plants is a very, very bad thing? And so basically, Rastafari will take that to the next extreme as far as spiritualism, and they're pretty good at it. Um, you always know Bob Marley, Yaman, Yaman, and their god in Rastafarianism is Jah. Now, I know that the old name of Christ Jesus way back when, and some of the real traditionalists call him Yahweh, um, Yahweh. So I'm kind of thinking the Yahweh is a little combination of the Rastafari, their Jah, and the Yaman somehow has something to mix in with that. That's just me making that up today. I didn't read that anywhere. Um, yeah, you know me. I come up with my own stuff. So I'm thinking that the Rastafari really are using it for spirituality. If you watch one of those guys in New York City, they're not just, they don't smoke in a social circle and bull crap and laugh. They're very serious into their thoughts. They're smoking it and they're just kind of looking down. They're quiet as a mouse, very silent. I've noticed that that's how they've been for a long time, the ones that I've seen smoke. And I have been to Jamaica before in my life. Actually, even as long as 30 years ago, I was there. Okay. I have a couple more notes on the Rastafari, and I'd like to share with you. I know a little bit about them, but there's a couple of cool points. The Indians. The Indians did it too in their teepees. They had those sacred teepees, the shamans and the high priests and everything. They mixed tobacco. They had tobacco and they used cannabis. Those guys back then. And you know what it does? It brings them into the cosmic world, Sam. The cosmic world, into the inner self world. You're going outside of the physical. You know, you're aware of your essence. You know, you're you're outside of what the normal crap is in the world when they're doing it. You're outside of your regular mind. You know, people's minds mess stuff up. People's minds, this one is that, or they make fun of that one over here, or you have somebody that you don't like, and it's all in your mind. If you can go to your inner mind, which is what the Rasta say, you can let your mind not create these things. Your mind is creating separation and boundaries, and it disenfranchises people, man. Our minds can really screw up, and cannabis, looking into the Rastafari thing, is really meant to take that away. It's really meant to take the judgment away, that you have judgment for so many other people. And God knows this world right now, we could use some of this. Maybe that's why they're trying to push marijuana in all the states now. They know it too. Our minds are analytical, and we got to get out of that a little bit. And the Rastafaris have something where you're connecting to the spirit, you're connecting to the soul. With cannabis, you can do these kind of things. And it sounds really good. I mean, if we all could follow what they do, we would all love each other. We wouldn't have any wars. It'd be pretty cool. I don't know. And remember, they're not just all stoned out, these guys. What did Bob Marley say? Good vibration. It gives you good vibes, man, and it makes you good. Remember, they call it the holy herb. I guess people that do transcendental meditation and stuff, they see it, they find that they can get into a deeper sight, they can, get there. But one of the problems is, when it's illegal, it's hard to get your head to get those feelings because, you're worried about getting busted, you're worried about this. If it's legal, like I kind of feel it is now in a way with the constitutional amendment, and once it finally gets passed, the people who smoke it are going to be so much more relaxed. They will be able to get more spiritual. They talk about opening up your third eye and all that kind of stuff. So, it's pretty cool what the Rastafaris really like. People just think they're a bunch of stoners that made up a religion so that they could smoke a lot of pot. And it's just not the case. These guys are spiritual dudes, man. Real spiritual dudes. All right. What are we going to say? We know about their inner wavelengths and, how you can end depression by smoking it and things like that. You get a little bit of happiness, self-sensing. I get that. So I'm pretty happy. When I smoke it, it's happiness for me. It's not, I'm not trying to cover anything up or hide anything or get away from any pain or anything. So I'm a halfway to spiritual when I use it, Sam. As you know, I smoke like a Rastafari. I'm quiet. I smoke by myself. I'm not a social smoker. It's my own little thing. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this on the Rastafari Cry, is because it's a little bit of me. Not as far as those guys. Not as far as those guys.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. So the other thing that if you really want to get there, you have to pray before you smoke. You know how even in other religions, they say, whatever you do, pray over it. You know, people pray over their meal before they eat, right? It's the same thing. You want to get rid of the demons. You want to give it goodness. Whatever you do, you should do that. Now, listen, Sam, I know that you're busy as can be and that you haven't had anything to eat for 72 hours. Well, I don't know about that, but I know you really got 90 things. Now, I have 4 more little things down there that I could go over, or the sun is going down, and if you're cool with it now, I'll be done. You tell me, because you're the one that's got like 6 things all the way to midnight tonight. What do you got?
Oh, I thought that was the cue before to end. So if you want to
do
it
right now, I'm just saying if you want to go longer,
okay.
I can, you know me, I'll talk about anything. But let's end it. People, I love you all for watching. I appreciate you. I really do. And one day, hopefully, we'll meet some of you. And if you ever see me out, don't be shy. Come and say hello. Okay? So peace and blessings to everybody.
Great. We'll see you next week at 4:20 p.m. Eastern every Thursday.